Today we're here to discuss the Canada Disability Benefit. This benefit has the stated objective of raising Canadians with disabilities out of poverty. The initial amount has been identified as $200 per month. While that falls short of the stated objective, we still believe it's very important for people to apply now to be ready for the rollout this summer. I'm here today with Edward Faruzel from KW Accessibility and with Sue Simpson from the Waterloo Region Family Network. Edward, let's start with you. Could you tell us a little bit about KW Accessibility?
Absolutely. So KW Accessibility is an information and resource center. We support adults with all types of physical disabilities, visual issues, and deaf and hard of hearing. We've been around for over 50 years, serving adults in Waterloo region.
Over 50 years, fantastic. Yeah. So Edward, what can you tell us about this Canada Disability Benefit?
So the disability benefit came into effect in June of last year, 2024. And as you said, it was created to support the financial needs of people living at or below the poverty line who have disabilities. It's actually going to take effect this year, starting in July.
Starting in July, okay. So Edward, how do people apply for the Canada Disability Benefit?
Well, in order to qualify for it, you have to be between 18 and 64 years of age. And you also have to qualify for the disability tax credit and have filed an income tax return last year.
Okay, disability tax credit. All right, thank you, Edward. Sue, could you tell us a little bit about Waterloo Region Family Network?
Sure, Al, I'd be happy to. As a peer-developed and peer-driven network, WRFN is able to support families with exceptional needs as well as individuals in our community. And when we refer to exceptional needs, that includes physical and developmental disabilities, communication and learning disabilities, neurodiversity, and mental health needs. We've been around for 15 years, supporting and connecting those families and individuals to vital resources as well as to each other. There's no cost to our services, and we support through all life stages.
Fantastic. Sue, what can you tell us about this disability tax credit?
So I think there's some barriers and myths around the disability tax credit. It's a very valuable resource. I know people do find it a little bit challenging to apply for it. There is a barrier in the sense that you do require a medical practitioner to sign off on it for you. And sometimes that's difficult for people to make those appointments. Sometimes the medical practitioner will charge a fee for that. If they do that, you can actually try to recoup that through medical expenses on your tax form. So that is one way of getting around that and supporting you in that way. I think it's also a bit of a myth that people think because they're on ODSP, it's not a benefit to them to have to apply for the disability tax credit. It's still helpful because if they can't use it, a supporting family member would be able to in filing their taxes, and it helps to recoup some of those fees that are related to the person having a disability.
Okay, and in this case, it is also the gateway to the Canada Disability Benefit as well.
It is, and so very important to apply for it in advance so that you can go ahead and apply for the disability benefit when it comes to be.
Edward, what could you add about experiences people with disabilities have had with the disability tax credit?
Well, Sue has already sort of mentioned that people, if they are on ODSP, which is Ontario Disability Support Program, that they would automatically qualify for the program. That's not the case. And so a lot of agencies have advocated for that, but it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
It's one of the challenges that people are facing.
Rachael Plant of Plan Institute is with us today to discuss the disability tax credit and the upcoming Canada Disability Benefit. Rachael, welcome to the conversation. For starters, people in Ontario may not be aware of your organization. What's the elevator pitch for Plan Institute?
Thanks so much, Al. I'm really happy to be here today. So Plan Institute is a national nonprofit focused on empowering people with disabilities to lead a good life, really whatever that means to them. So some elements that we see as making up a good life include being empowered to make decisions, knowing the support of friends and family, and crucially having financial security and a well-planned future. So those last two elements, so financial security and future planning, they're really at the core of what Plan Institute does. So as part of that, we do a lot of work to help people understand and access benefits and programs that they might be eligible for. And that includes all of the benefits that we're talking about today. So the disability tax credit, the upcoming Canada Disability Benefit, and also the Registered Disability Savings Plan.
Great, terrific. So Rachel, how did you end up with a national mandate to assist people with the disability tax credit and the Canada Disability Benefit?
So Plan Institute has been involved in advocacy around the Canada Disability Benefit for quite a few years now. So we've been working with grassroots advocates and other groups to try and make this benefit a reality. And now that we know that the disability tax credit, or the DTC, is the main qualification criteria for the Canada Disability Benefit, we've been kind of ramping up our supports around the disability tax credit to try and help as many people get set up and ready to receive the new Canada Disability Benefit when it's released. And all of this kind of links nicely into the years of experience that we have with the Registered Disability Savings Plan, or the RDSP. So the RDSP uses the disability tax credit, as the Canada Disability Benefit does, as its main eligibility criteria. So these three benefits are kind of linked together. So Plan Institute has really been focusing on helping people apply for the disability tax credit, because we see this as I guess an opportunity to help people with disabilities build both their current and their future financial security. So by applying for the disability tax credit, somebody can receive the Canada Disability Benefit, and that's going to put a bit more money in their pocket each month. And they can also go on to open a Registered Disability Savings Plan, which is going to help them to save for the future.
That sounds fantastic, Rachel. Can you tell us about the supports that you've put in place to assist people in preparing for the Canada Disability Benefit?
So the main one I want to highlight is our Disability Planning Helpline. So the helpline is a national service, and it offers free one-to-one support with really any disability-related topic. And as part of the helpline, we recently launched a DTC application support service. So that means that our advisors can help you to complete the T2201 form, which is the DTC application form. And they can help you prepare language to give to your medical practitioner, because that's often the most difficult part of the form to complete. So for folks wanting to reach out to our helpline, you can either send us an email to helpline@planinstitute.ca, or you can call our toll-free number at 1-844-311-7526.
There's a website too where all this information can be found as well. Could you tell us about that?
So if you're looking for information about the Canada Disability Benefit, I would suggest checking out canadadisabilitybenefit.ca. On the website, you'll find a ton of information about the Canada Disability Benefit as well as the DTC. You can find some really good resources to help you get prepared for when it's released in July this year. So that includes things like step-by-step guides to the DTC and other resources that you need to kind of help you understand how to be ready for when the benefit comes out. I'll also mention another resource website that we have, which is rdsp.com. So that's a great place to go if you're looking for information about the Registered Disability Savings Plan, which I mentioned earlier. We also offer monthly webinars on the RDSP. So we have an introductory level 1 webinar and then a level 2 webinar, which goes into a bit more detail about things like investing and withdrawals. So those are a great resource to look at if you just want a bit more information to understand what the plan is and how it works in practice. And later this year, we're going to be releasing webinars on the disability tax credit and the Canada Disability Benefit. So watch this space for those.
What advice would you have, Rachael, for anyone who's just starting this journey?
The first thing I would say is file your taxes. Even if you don't think that you owe anything, it's really important to file your taxes every year, because those are going to be used to decide whether you're eligible for benefits like the Canada Disability Benefit, and it's also going to decide how much of the government grants and bonds you can get into your registered disability savings plan if you open one of those. And sometimes the government is looking back 1 year, sometimes they're looking back 2 years. So you just want to make sure that you're really consistent in filing your taxes. The other thing I was going to say is just to really emphasize to start this process as early as you can. It can take time to get approved, and the sooner you get approved for the DTC, the sooner you can receive the Canada Disability Benefit, and also the sooner you can open a registered disability savings plan. That in particular is really important because the RDSP is a long-term plan and it can attract a lot of interest. So the earlier you open one, the more money you'll be able to attract into the account by the time you retire. Don't be discouraged if you're not approved for the DTC the first time you apply. The language that the CRA is looking for is really specific. And so just because they don't approve you the first time, that doesn't mean that your disability isn't eligible. So again, I just encourage everybody to speak to an advocate or to call our helpline to get support with that application process.
So don't be discouraged if your application is not approved the first time. You might still get there.
That's right.
Okay, terrific. Well, Rachael, do you have any final words of advice for our viewers?
Please don't be shy to reach out to Plan Institute. All of our supports are free, and we're really happy to help you in this journey because it's not always easy, but it is worth it in the end.
Terrific. Rachael Plant from Plan Institute. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rachael.
Thank you, Al.
Sue, do you have any final words for our viewers?
I think the thing is just to go ahead and apply for the disability tax credit to ensure that you have that now so that you can take advantage of the disability benefit when it comes to be. So I would encourage people to get out there now. You can apply online or by mail. So please apply now.
Thank you, Sue. Edward, final word?
I, again, would like to echo what Sue said. It's really important for people to make sure that either they have qualified for the disability tax credit, or if they haven't yet, to make sure and get the application done as soon as possible. And it's going to help people. Definitely, it seems like $200 isn't really that much, but you know, every bit helps, and it's a start to helping people in the future.
Absolutely. $200 a month, $2,400 a year, and we hope, and I will say believe, the amount will go up. Apply now.
So if people have any more questions or need help filling out the application forms, please don't hesitate to contact one of our organizations. All our contact information will be on the screen below.